wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets. But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family to come out.
BMF has officially been cancelled by Starz after 4 seasons, marking the end of a series that became a major cultural topic for both television viewers and hip-hop audiences. The news was confirmed alongside statements explaining that the network is shifting focus toward new productions and reducing costs associated with continuing long-running shows. Starz executives have been vocal about wanting to control budget expansion and invest in new titles instead of extending projects that become more expensive with each season. While BMF maintained strong audience interest and had storylines set for expansion, internal decisions about content costs and scheduling played a major role in the cancellation. This decision arrives during a period in which several Starz titles in the Power universe have also concluded or transitioned into new spin-off formats. The cancellation sparked immediate reaction online due to the public relationship between 50 Cent and the Meech family, particularly his involvement in producing the show and developing Lil Meech's acting career. Soon after the news surfaced, 50 Cent responded on Instagram by posting an image of Lil Meech with a caption implying that he was now out of work and questioning, "What next season?" The post circulated widely and was covered across entertainment platforms, with many viewers interpreting it as 50 Cent mocking Lil Meech directly following the cancellation. 50 also reposted headlines from media outlets, confirming the end of the series and using the moment to highlight his continued influence in the entertainment space. This type of public response is consistent with 50's long-established approach to conflicts, marketing, and cultural messaging. Since his entry into the industry, 50 Cent has maintained a persona that embraces confrontation and public commentary, turning controversy into promotion. His reaction to the cancellation fits into that pattern, using humor and trolling to keep attention focused on his role within the larger narrative. The cancellation also drew attention due to the underlying tensions between 50 Cent and Demetrius Big Meech Flannery Sr., whose real-life story inspired the show. Their relationship had shifted over time, especially after Big Meech was released from prison. The disagreement escalated when 50 Cent accused Big Meech of cooperating with law enforcement in the past, an accusation Big Meech denied publicly. The situation intensified further when Big Meech appeared in a promotional video alongside Rick Ross, one of 50's long-term industry rivals. That moment was widely discussed because of the perception that Big Meech was aligning himself with someone known to be in conflict with 50. The move was seen by many observers, especially those familiar with hip-hop history, as a direct shift of loyalty. For 50 Cent, who had personally invested in Lil Meech's acting development and helped establish him in the entertainment world, these gestures carried public and professional implications. When news of the cancellation broke, some viewers speculated that tensions between 50 Cent and the Meech family may have influenced the show's termination. However, multiple reports emphasize that the decision stemmed from Starz leadership and broader cost-cutting strategies rather than personal disputes. The network has been preparing for structural changes, including scaling back long-running projects to open funding and schedule slots for new content. At the same time, the public conflict between 50 Cent and the Meech family contributed to the online conversation surrounding the cancellation, giving the development more visibility and debate. As the situation unfolded, discussions online highlighted how closely audiences associate 50 Cent's personality and public statements with his business ventures. Some viewers saw his response as disrespectful toward Lil Meech, arguing that mocking him after the show's cancellation undermined the mentorship role he once held. Others viewed 50's reaction as part of his promotional strategy, consistent with his history of using humor and controversy to maintain momentum. The moment became not just about the cancellation, but about the dynamics of loyalty, business relationships, and how personal conflict become magnified in the social media era. Following the public reaction to 50 Cent's post, conversation immediately shifted toward the long and complicated relationship between 50 Cent and the Meech family. When BMF first entered development, 50 Cent publicly embraced the story and positioned it as a cultural project honoring legacy and street history. He played a key role in Lil Meech's transition into acting, sending him to acting school, preparing him for the role, and guiding him during the early stages of production. For many fans, this mentorship appeared to signal a unified relationship between the two families. However, As time passed and public disagreement surfaced, the sense of unity began to fracture. The moment Big Meech made public statements countering narratives surrounding his life, and later appeared in association with figures 50 viewed as adversaries, the situation began to grow tense. These tensions were never isolated to private conversations. They played out visibly on social media, podcasts, and comment sections, where each detail was analyzed by viewers who had become invested in the personalities behind the show just as much as the storyline. Lil Meech, placed at the center of the conflict, became both a symbol of the show's cultural value and a target in online debates. As the star portraying his father, he carried significant expectations, not only as an actor but as a representative of a legacy with strong public attachment. When 50 made comments mocking him after the cancellation, the reaction among fans reflected a divide. Some felt 50 was simply promoting his typical online humor. Others argued that the mockery carried deeper meaning due to the shared history. Many questioned whether mentorship should continue to exist after the professional partnership ended, and whether public pressure was being used to make a point. Throughout these discussions, Lil Meech did not respond directly, which allowed speculation to grow even further. In the absence of statements, viewers projected their own interpretations, some suggesting that he was distancing himself from conflict, others suggesting he was strategically avoiding escalation. The cancellation of BMF also prompted debate about the role of loyalty in the entertainment industry. On one side, there are long-standing cultural expectations tied to respect and reciprocation, especially in projects rooted in real-life histories. On the other side, television operates as a business, where decisions are made based on contracts, viewership trends, and network restructuring. These two frameworks often clash. Viewers who were emotionally attached to the story viewed the cancellation through the lens of personal conflict, while industry analysts emphasized cost cycles, brand expansion strategies, and corporate prioritization of new programming. Both interpretations coexisted online, fueling discussions that extended beyond the show itself. Simultaneously, talk began to grow about the future direction of the BMF universe. Even with the main series concluding, there were reports and conversations pointing toward possible spin-offs, character-focused developments, and expanded storytelling exploring earlier or alternate-era timelines. Whether Lil Meech will continue to be positioned as part of future projects remains uncertain. The creative teams and production companies involved in the franchise may choose to continue building around the universe even if cast relationships shift. Meanwhile, 50 Cent has already demonstrated that he is prepared to take his production work to new platforms, studios, and distribution partners, reinforcing that cancellation of one show does not reduce his momentum. As the conversation evolved, fans continue to return to the central dynamic. 50 Cent is a cultural figure who leveraged conflict, humor, and public pressure to shape narratives. His responses to events are rarely neutral. They are designed to spark conversation, maintain attention, and control the storyline as it unfolds online. The situation with Lil Meech and the end of BMF fitted into this pattern seamlessly. Instead of issuing a formal statement, 50 used sarcasm and indirect messaging to communicate his stance. This approach kept him at the center of discussion, ensured ongoing visibility for any future announcements he may make, and reinforced the brand identity he has built over decades. In the end, the cancellation became not just a television production update, but a reflection of evolving relationships, shifting industry alliances, and the ways public personalities manage power and presence in real time. As the news continued to circulate, the conversation gradually shifted from the cancellation itself to what comes next, not just for the show, but for everyone involved. Lil Meech is now at a point where his career could move in several different directions. He has gained recognition as an actor, and the role gave him national exposure, something that can translate into new opportunities if he chooses to pursue them. However, the situation surrounding the cancellation places him under a microscope. Any project he steps into next will be compared to the legacy of BMF, and the public will be watching closely to see whether he can stand independently of the story that introduced him. The narrative surrounding him is now tied to how he responds, not just professionally but publicly, especially when the commentary around the situation continues to grow. He has remained quiet throughout the reaction, and that silence is being interpreted in different ways, as patience, as strategy, or as uncertainty, depending on who is observing. 50 Cent, on the other hand, continues to move forward with new projects and business ventures, maintaining his position in the entertainment industry while shaping the cultural conversation around him. His history shows that he rarely pauses momentum when a situation changes. When something ends, he shifts his focus and builds somewhere else. He has already positioned himself for future expansion in television and streaming, especially as networks adjust their content strategies. Whether the BMF universe continues in the form of spin-offs or restructured storytelling, he will likely remain associated with the evolution of the narrative. This situation reinforces his pattern of maintaining visibility and relevance not by avoiding controversy, but by controlling it. The cultural debate surrounding the cancellation also raises larger questions about how entertainment audiences engage with stories that come from real life. BMF was not just a series. It was an adaptation of events that many people still associate with emotional, historical, and community significance. The show's end does not erase the impact of the real story behind it. That narrative will continue through documentaries, interviews, music, and broader discussions surrounding Black film history and storytelling. The cancellation simply marks a transition in how that story will now be told and who will be involved in telling it. In the broader industry, the situation highlights the changing nature of television production. Long-running series face financial pressure as cast salaries, production scale, and licensing costs increase over time. Networks are favoring shorter, more flexible runs and expanding into spin-offs or limited series formats. The Power universe has already demonstrated that multi-show world-building creates more longevity than a single sustained storyline. The BMF universe may follow that same approach, meaning the story is not finished, only the format is changing. However, the public fixated on the personal layer because it represents what audiences now value: transparency, conflict, and emotional stakes behind the scenes. The cancellation became a cultural moment because people were invested in the relationship surrounding it, not just a show. The reactions to 50 Cent's posts, the silence from Lil Meech, and the history with Big Meech turned a business decision into a public dialogue. Ultimately, the end of BMF marked a shift, not a conclusion. The story that inspired the show remains important in music, culture, and media. Lil Meech now stands at a defining moment in his career where his next move will shape how his talent is perceived. 50 Cent continues to operate from a position of influence, using attention and narrative momentum to reinforce his role in shaping popular media. And fans remain engaged, watching how each development unfolds and how the legacy of the BMF story continues to evolve across screens, platforms, and voices.